Good morning. Happy Weekendween. It's Friday morning. I had some early morning meetings, so I've done all that, gotten ready for the day. We already went on one walk with the doggy and we're about to go on a second one, but I wanted to pick an audiobook to read before we go. I listened to my little climate change podcast this morning, but I want to do an audiobook. Scribd is having a weird situation happening. None of the books are available right now for whatever reason until October 30th. So we'll have books to read, lots of books to read on audiobook from October 30th and 31st. But today and tomorrow, I don't have an audiobook. Okay, I found The Woman in the Window. It's available from the library. I have the book physically, so that's gonna be our audiobook. If I like. It's 14 hours, let's give it a go. Let's go on a walk. Come on. I'm this far into The Woman in the Window. It's fine. It's really long, and so nothing has really happened. I feel like this book, and more specifically the movie that this book was made into, has just been memed so hard because apparently it was awful. I've never seen it. I did watch the Netflix show with Kristen Bell that's a parody of that movie, which I'll put the title here. It's ridiculous. So part of me thinks I know what's gonna happen in this. It's also already a nod to Rear Window, and our main character is obsessed with old films. So it's I'm also annoyed because she says that she's a psychologist in here, but then she also says that she was prescribing medication. You're not allowed to prescribe medication for a psychologist. You have to be a psychiatrist to prescribe medication. She could be a PhD MD. It's possible, but I'm just saying, that feels like something that would have been easy to research. Anyways, I'm gonna finish work and then we're gonna run around in the backyard with the dog, try to get some endorphins. I don't want to talk about the book. Let's open the package. This is for my Halloween costume. I'm going to a party tomorrow. I'm going to be a vampire. And I bought some gloves. Okay, I gotta put a different shirt on so you can actually see them. Hang on. Interesting. They're very tight and not stretchy at all. But I think they'll do. That's that. Still not really loving The Woman in the Window. I'm gonna give it until, I'm gonna give it a chance. Maybe it'll pick up. Oh. I just ordered food. Oh, I'm done with work. I just ordered food, so that should be here in about an hour. And then we can eat and have a nice lounge night in. So let's pick the book I'm gonna read. That's a good idea. I need a coin and some books. All right, I've got three choices. I have two shorter things. This is a graphic novel, so that would fulfill the graphic novel prompt, even though I'm already reading an audiobook. We could just do all of it. This is by Alison Bechdel, and I've been wanting to read this for a long time. We also have The House in the Dark of the Woods. Again, I've had this for a long time. Would love to read that. That's super short. And then I'm currently in the middle of I just started The Hollow Places. And I would very much like to continue reading it. So we'll flip a coin for if I'm gonna continue reading The Hollow Places or if I'm gonna start something new. So this is gonna be heads, this is gonna be tails. Let's do it. I did a really great job. Okay. And it is heads, which means I'm gonna keep reading The Hollow Places. All right, so I guess I have poor coin flipping skills, but we are gonna be reading Hollow Places, which I'm really excited about because I'm super duper loving this. This is by T. Kingfisher, and T. Kingfisher is one of my favorite authors. I want to read everything she's written. I actually just picked this up very recently, and I am very, very excited to continue reading it. So far, our main character, she has just gone through a divorce. She's moved in with her uncle, and he's got this crazy museum that's full of weird things like taxidermy and little oddities. So she's moved in there. She's helping him with the museum because he's got some gout, some medical problems, and I guess he has to go get his knee replaced or something like that is going on. So her mother's there looking after him and she's looking after the museum. She meets this guy at this like coffee shop. She's known him. She's like grown up in this museum basically. And they find a hole in the wall and so they're like exploring it. Turns out they found a place that's spooky. Some non-Euclidean geometry going on. There's like this secret hallway and it's leading to these two doors. They find a dead body. It's scary. And apparently they're going to be finding this new hub that contains portals to alternate realities. So I'm super excited. I love cosmic horror. I love like non-Euclidean geometry, like this can't be real sort of situation. There's this moment where they like cut a hole in the wall so that they can go explore, and if the chunk of wall falls on their side, it's just like wallboard, plaster, regular wall. If it falls on the other side, it's like 6-inch concrete. That's so cool. I love it when books do stuff like this. So I'm very excited to read that. We're gonna have a quiet night in, order some food, edit this video so that you can see it. I'm gonna go read. I hope you're having a lovely day. Let me know how your first day of Weekendween was if you're participating. If you're not participating, there are many days left. It goes until Monday at midnight. So you still have time to get some bookies in if you want to join. Okay, let's go read. This is scary. This is in the synopsis, so not a spoiler. They've just found, written on a wall, "Pray they are hungry." I did not freak out again. I looked at the letters. I looked at them for quite a long time. And then I looked away and Simon didn't say anything and I didn't say anything. And we both did not say anything so loudly that the room rang with our silence. T. Kingfisher's so good at writing. This is horrifying. I'm really, really enjoying this. This is my favorite type of horror. I love cosmic horror, like horror that makes you question your reality. That is my favorite kind of horror. You're breathing super loud right next to my microphone. The way that they're describing the horror in here, it's like things are pushing at the fabric of reality and it's just so scary and I'm loving it. If you guys have read this, please let me know recommendations in the comments for other things like this, or I just love to chat about this in the comments. I'm really glad that this is working because the woman in the window is not working for me. My camera's in the other room and I wasn't planning on filming anymore tonight, but this shit is so scary. I'm spooked. I'm thoroughly spooked. It takes a lot for a book to freak me out, and I'm freaked out. Fully and completely scared. I'm glad I have a gigantic doggy that barks every time he hears the smallest sound. So no one's sneaking up on me. I need to go to bed, but I want to keep reading. I'm going to finish reading the chapter, and then I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to keep reading. I'm going to sleep. Because the later I stay up, the scarier it gets. We're going to go to sleep. We're going to read in the daylight hours. Good night. I finished reading The Hollow Places. This book gave me nightmares. I usually don't remember my dreams, but through a fun combination of Sully finding an empty can of cat food under his dog bed at 6 in the morning, I did wake up in the middle of a nightmare. And I'm gonna blame this book. It's so scary, but even in the scary moments, the characters' thoughts still made me laugh and smile. It was just so good. There's an author's note at the very end, and she talks about how the concept for this book came from The Willows by Algernon Blackwood. And she also talks about how she has another book called The Twisted Ones, and it's a line in a different story that just bugged her for years, and she had to write a book to get that line out of her head. And I love that concept of having something stick with you so much that you have to write a book about it. I loved this so much. The concept of not being able to think about something because it can hear you thinking, and they will find you if you think about them, is horrifying. If I tell you not to think about an elephant, you're gonna think about an elephant. That's the first thing you're gonna think about. Don't be surprised if it shows up in my favorites of the year. So now I need to pick another book, but I'm not really feeling any of the horror that I have. I'd love a haunted house story. That's really what I want to read. Maybe I'll go and see, I think Tananarive Due has one called The Good House. I think she writes a lot of haunted house stories. So maybe I'll go to my local indie or to Barnes & Noble. We can see if we can pick one of her books to read. Okay, so I physically cannot force myself to keep reading The Woman in the Window. So I have this problem with thrillers where I want to know what happens, but I hate reading the book. You know, even this month I read The Wife Between Us and desperately wanted to stop reading the book, but wanted to know what happened. So I kept reading, wasting hours of my time reading something that I hated. And then just now I realized that I could just look up the plot instead of forcing myself to read the book. So I just looked up the plot, and it was, I mean, there were some twists that I didn't know, but it was pretty much exactly what I was expecting, and not worth an additional, 4 hours of my time. We're DNFing Woman in the Window. Sully's now asleep, so I guess we're not going until he wakes up. Hello! I have just been listening to A Dowry of Blood. All the audiobooks that I'd saved on script that were supposed to only be available starting tomorrow are suddenly available, so I'm listening to A Dowry of Blood, and I'm really, really happy because that's what I really wanted to read this weekend, because at the Halloween party I'm going to tonight, I'm going to be a vampire, and I wanted to read more vampire stories. So I've just painted my nails, and I don't know if you can see them. So it's like blood. This is not showing up very well on camera, but it looks cool in person. Let's talk about A Dowry of Blood. I'm really enjoying it. I'm 36% of the way through. So this is a vampire story, and it is our main character and her husband, who is Dracula but not named as Dracula, and she has this whole thing where she talks about how she's not going to call him by his name to try to like take some power away from him. and he's like manipulating her and bringing other people into their marriage and kind of like coercing her into agreeing to that. I'm really enjoying it. I'm happy that everything is now done and ready for tonight. So something happened and I'm not responsible. I went to get groceries because I needed food, and there's an independent bookstore right next door to the grocery store that I go to, and I accidentally, not on purpose, bought 3 books. Oops. Okay, here's the problem. I wanted to get a haunted house book, and I was looking for a Tananarive Dew, and I didn't have any of her books. But I have been wanting to also pick up Darcy Coates, and they had The Haunting of the Ashbourne House. It's a haunted house story. I wanted a haunted house story, so I had to pick this up, right? And then and then I woke up, which I really wanted. It's a short story, perfect for a readathon, and I really love the concept of this. It's like a plague, but the plague is that you think that everyone else is zombies, and so you like are fighting for your life and you kill people, and then you wake up and it was you who was doing the killing. There were no zombies. Super scary concept. And I'm just really in love with these like big floppy paperbacks right now, and the concept of this sounds so good, and I love supporting debut authors, and I love that this is about an older woman, and she's going through menopause, she's got hot flashes, she's also experiencing flashbacks from this infamous serial killer, and then the killings start again. Is she possessed by a serial killer? Who knows? And the cover, gorgeous. So I had to, and I'll make the rules, I had to get them. Want a grocery haul? I got another chicken. I've been really loving just getting a rotisserie chicken and then making like a bunch of stuff with it. Like I'll make a Caesar wrap with it, or a club sandwich, or you know, all sorts of different things, and that way I have one chicken, I don't have to worry about cooking shit. I also got some frozen pizzas because I don't have time to cook tonight. I also got some solo cups for the party tonight. This is all they had. I only got 40 of them, and I had to ask someone to help me get them. They're too short. And then I ate all the candy that I bought for the kiddos, so I bought new candy for them. I only had like stuff with peanuts in it left. I wanted to make sure I had something for kids who can't have peanuts or chocolate. And then I, you know, accidentally bought some apple cider donuts. Oops. Oh, I've been listening to A Dowry of Blood. Love it. Which means I've crossed off both the, I'm not done with it yet, but when I do, I'll have crossed off the read a audiobook or graphic novel prompt, and I will also have completed the read a book with a monster on the cover because she's a vampire and she's on the cover, so there we go. Tomorrow, I will definitely be reading one of these bigger books and then I woke up. Hi, good morning. I'm editing this right now and realizing that I never spoke to you again last night. I really thought that I showed you my Halloween costume and everything, and I took like 0 pictures. So it's just in the void now. It was good. I'll tell you more about the party in the books and everything. So this is just me closing out the vlog. There will be 2 vlogs for Weekendween. So the first 2 days are the one you're watching now, and then Sunday and Monday will be a second vlog that will hopefully be up on Tuesday. So just a little bonus video coming on Tuesday. I'm really happy with everything that I was able to read in just the first 2 days, so I will see you on Tuesday.